go here, this way, and this way, or it's like up? Like, is it more this way?
This.
Okay.
Former UFC double champion and current analyst Daniel Cormier has confirmed what many fans suspected. Magomed Ankalaev suffered a broken rib during his title fight against Alex Pereira. Speaking on his show earlier this week, Cormier revealed that the Russian contender entered the octagon already compromised, and the injury played a major role in how the fight unfolded. Cormier explained that Ankalaev sustained the rib injury during training camp, but chose not to pull out, opting instead to fight through the pain. According to DC, the damage limited Ankalaev's ability to twist, breathe deeply, and engage in his usual grappling-heavy approach. That could help explain why the typically composed wrestler struggled to impose his game plan against Pereira's striking power. Ankalaev's rib was messed up going in, Cormier said. When you can't rotate your torso, you can't shoot, you can't drive. That's a nightmare against a guy like Alex Pereira. Most people don't realize how bad it was. Despite the injury, Ankalaev still showed heart, pressing forward and trading with the middleweight turned light heavyweight champ, before eventually being stopped by Pereira's signature left hook. The revelation adds new context to the fight and to Ankalaev's future in the division. While some fans questioned his performance that night, the confirmation of a broken rib paints a different picture of just how much adversity he faced in the octagon.
First off, let's talk about the injury right away. Magomed Ankalaev did have a rib injury. This is not a lie. This is not an excuse. I know this because prior to the fight, I saw video of him getting injections into his rib to try to help him get to the fight. He was able to hit pads and do cardio essentially for a month and a half before the fight. With that being said, I don't know if the result changes if he was healthy because of the way Pereira fought him. I know some people that are very close to Magomed Ankalaev that said for him not to fight. He wanted to fight. He wanted to go out there and beat Pereira again because he understood how important it was to have a victory over Alex, and two, over him would have been even a stronger statement as to why he is who he is. But he was not at 100%, but I don't know if he was at 120% if he would have beaten Pereira on that night.
Light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira has broken his silence following his war with Magomed Ankalaev, releasing a powerful video message aimed directly at his former opponent. In the short clip posted to social media, Pereira addressed the fight, the aftermath, and the respect he has for Ankalaev, while making it clear that he's still the undisputed king at 205 pounds. Pereira, speaking calmly in Portuguese before switching to English, thanked fans for their support and acknowledged the toughness of Ankalaev, who, as later confirmed by Daniel Cormier, fought through a broken rib during their title clash. Magomed is a warrior, Pereira said. I know he came to fight injured, and I respect that. Not many men would step inside the cage like that. But when the cage closes, there are no excuses, only results. The Brazilian superstar also reminded fans that injuries are part of the fight game, emphasizing that everyone who steps into the octagon carries their own struggles. We all fight hurt, Pereira continued. We all make sacrifices. That's what makes this sport real. I respect Ankalaev, but I'm focused on what's next. New challenges, new history. The message has quickly gone viral across social media, with fans praising Pereira's mix of humility and confidence. Known for his stoic personality and devastating knockout power, Pereira once again showed the poise of a true champion, offering respect to his rival while reinforcing his dominance in the light heavyweight division. Whether a rematch with Ankalaev is next or another contender steps forward, one thing is clear. Alex Pereira remains the man everyone is chasing. Former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman has thrown his voice into the mix, and he's calling for a trilogy between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Speaking on his podcast this week, Usman praised both men for delivering two thrilling, high-stakes fights and said a third bout would be massive for the sport, and the only way to settle who truly rules the light heavyweight division. Usman, who's known for his analytical takes on fighter mentality and skill, said he was blown away by how much heart both Pereira and Ankalaev showed in their rematch. Those two guys have unfinished business, Usman said. Pereira's striking is something special. Nobody can deny that. But Ankalaev is a dog man. He came back stronger, pushed through injuries, and showed championship grit. You can't end that story at 1-1. You gotta run it back. The call for a trilogy has sparked plenty of debate among fans. With Pereira's highlight reel knockouts and Ankalaev's dominance when healthy, many believe a third fight could be one of the biggest events in UFC light heavyweight history. Usman pointed out that both men bring unique styles, Pereira's world-class kickboxing versus Ankalaev's technical grappling and counter-striking, making the matchup a perfect contrast of skill and mentality. Usman also highlighted how much both fighters have elevated the division since their rivalry began. This isn't just about a belt anymore, he added. It's about legacy. It's about who defines this era. And if the UFC wants a fight that gets the world talking, Pereira versus Ankalaev 3 is the one. While nothing is official yet, Usman's endorsement adds even more fuel to the growing demand for a trilogy. And if the UFC listens to the former champ, fans might just get another chapter in one of the sport's most intense rivalries.
Yes, of course, I would love to see the trilogy because this Ankalaev Pereira didn't give us his best performance because there was something going on behind closed doors. Ankalaev didn't give us his best performance because there was something going on behind closed doors. This is for all the marbles. You have to govern yourself. I don't care what you're coming into this trilogy fight with. This is it. This is the trilogy fight. You have to govern yourself.
Just weeks after his brutal showdown with Magomed Ankalaev, light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira is wasting no time getting back to work. The Brazilian powerhouse is officially back in the shop, returning to training and sharpening his tools once again at Teixeira MMA and Fitness in Danbury, Connecticut. Pereira shared footage on social media showing himself hitting pads, drilling combinations, and moving with the same cold precision that's made him one of the most feared strikers in UFC history. Despite coming off another grueling 5-round war, Poatan looks fresh, focused, and fully committed to staying ahead of the competition. In typical Pereira fashion, there was no flashy talk, just quiet intensity. The caption read simply, "Back in the shop." For fans, it's a reminder that the champion never truly rests. Even after reclaiming his dominance in the octagon, Pereira's mindset hasn't shifted. He's built on discipline, repetition, and an obsession with improvement. Training alongside close friend and former champion Glover Teixeira, Pereira appears to be eyeing what's next. Whether that's a potential trilogy with Ankalaev or a massive super fight that could see him move up to heavyweight. Whatever comes next, one thing's certain. Alex Pereira is back in grind mode, and the rest of the division just felt the pressure rise.
Fala aí, pessoal, como prometido, né? Falei que depois da luta, né? Ia voltar na borracharia, o Ankalaev tava certo. A gente tá aqui hoje, né? Aqui marcando presença, como sempre. Sempre quando eu venho pro Brasil, eu venho pra borracharia. E é isso aí, pessoal. Aqui, pô, um lugar aqui tem uma história, pô, muito bonita. Chama.
The MMA world is still buzzing after Daniel Cormier confirmed that Magomed Ankalaev fought Alex Pereira with a broken rib, and UFC analysts across the board are weighing in on just how much that injury impacted the fight. Many believe Ankalaev's performance makes more sense now, especially his limited movement and lack of wrestling offense during key moments of the bout. Michael Bisping was one of the first to react on his podcast, saying that Ankalaev's decision to even step into the octagon with that kind of injury showed crazy toughness, but also questionable strategy. "A broken rib is no joke," Bisping said. "You can't breathe right, you can't twist, you can't shoot for takedowns properly." That explains why Ankalaev stayed striking with Pereira, which is the most dangerous thing you can do.
So here, this way, and this way, or it's like up? Like, is it more this way?
This one.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen added that the revelation adds an entirely new layer to how the fight will be remembered. "It makes you look at that fight differently," Sonnen said. Ankalaev was clearly fighting hurt, and yet Pereira still had to work hard to put him away. It's not taking credit from Alex. He did what champions do. But now we know Magomed was in there at maybe 60 or 70%. Fans online have echoed those sentiments, praising Ankalaev's toughness, but also questioning whether his team should have pulled him from the fight altogether. Some analysts now believe a rematch, or even a full trilogy, would make sense once Ankalaev fully recovers, especially since the injury may have prevented him from showing his best. With the light heavyweight division still wide open and Alex Pereira continuing his reign of dominance, Ankalaev's recovery and return timeline will be closely watched. One thing's for sure, after this revelation, everyone has a new level of respect for Magomed Ankalaev's heart and determination inside the cage.
Magomed Ankalaev was injured going into the Pereira matchup. I'm happy he sewed up, but on a real note, this changes literally nothing. Pereira was injured going into the first Magomed Ankalaev matchup. He had a broken hand. Magomed Ankalaev goes in. I'm sorry, like there's not much I can say. Well, that would excuse his performance though. So let me get this straight, okay? Pereira says that he has a broken hand and like multiple like illnesses going into a matchup with the first Magomed Ankalaev. Takes it to a decision, and you say to yourself, oh, that's ultimate copium. I'm not going to take that into account. Magomed Ankalaev has a broken rib going into a matchup with Pereira, gets destroyed in under a minute. And you want me to be like, oh, well, then that entire thing does not count. Brother, I'm sorry. If I was hearing this from a group of fans that weren't literally going in on Pereira and accusing him of lying about his injuries, then I would take it a bit more seriously. The truth is, bro, Magomed Ankalaev is not getting a trilogy. They're going to throw Magomed Ankalaev probably to Bogdan Guskov. I'm sorry, that's just what they're going to do. I'm sorry that you hate the idea of exciting champions. I'm sorry that you don't like that. I'm happy that Magomed Ankalaev sewed up. But at the same time, brother, you're talking about facing Pereira, a guy who's literally never gone into a matchup 100%. Pereira still sewed up. Good on Magomed for sewing up. Everybody is coming in with some type of injury.
Well, would you look at that? Magomed fought Pereira severely injured. Why didn't anyone tell me? It should be illegal for that type of information to be withheld during the sports betting era that we're in. Hey guys, I'm the UFC. I'm gonna partner with Stake Sportsbook. Let's get everyone to bet on these fights that may as well be fucking fixed. Do I look like a guy who would put $2,600 on a guy with a broken rib? DC confirmed it. And for those of you who don't know, you can't fight at a professional level with a broken rib. You literally can't breathe. No wonder why he dropped like a fly. Big Daddy Magomed couldn't even finish the last 6 weeks of training camp. The fight's over. It's the last thing I'll say about it. If you bet Pereira last Saturday, you got lucky. If you bet Magomed like me, you're sharp. You know what you're doing in this racket. And if I knew this information beforehand, I wouldn't have bet $2,600 on the fucking guy.
And that wraps up today's breakdown. Magomed Ankalaev's injury has everyone in the MMA world talking, and we'll keep you updated as more reactions come in. Bang! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned right here on Octagon HQ, your home for non-stop fight news, analysis, and all things UFC.